being the person who tells someone coffee is the seed of a cherry. It never gets old. When you're the first person to tell someone that, you know, it's a hard business and it doesn't look hard from the outside. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like so much fun, and it is fun, but it's a lot.
So what do we do? You have a new human here. I want to open a cafe because it's so much fun. It's my dream. What do you tell him? Do, don't, why?
Like, if you are a great leader, people around you are going to be happy, and they're also going to just keep happily following you, right? To be a leader, you have to lead, and people have to be willing to be led.
Right.
And if they're not, I think that you're missing it. You know?
So leaders say, oh my God.
¿Qué es el éxito?
Dinero,
Empoderamiento,
aprendizaje, viajes,
crecimiento, emprendimiento.
salud.
Familia.
Hablemos de éxito. Todos los viernes en YouTube. En conversación con Erika Escalante, consultora empresarial, consultora de cafeterías, gran experiencia en desarrollar herramientas que funcionan, pero sobre todo, un humano bien chingón.
Vámonos. We're really excited. I had a class. You were my instructor in a class earlier today, and now I get to interview you, and that's priceless.
Yeah.
Erika, thank you.
I'm so happy you asked.
Yes, of course. Well, this podcast, this interview, it's about bringing value. It's for doers. It's for people that make shit happen. It's for people that actually created something. Yeah. And you're one of them. So thank you.
Oh, yes, I know. I think some of us are just born on that path or something. Like, we just have that drive, and that's me. And if I'm just myself, it just happens to be the doer person.
I agree, and that's what I saw today. Let's talk about success. What is success? Éxito. What does that mean to you?
Yeah. You know, it's a few things. I'll be honest, as I grew up in poverty, low income, and success does mean money to me. Being financially successful and safe and secure means a lot. And I think a lot of my career has been focused on that. But at the same time, I think I realize now that success also means finding happiness in just who you are as a person, and being able to use your gifts out there to make money and to not, like, to bring joy and whatever. So I have 2 children, so being able to be a great mother and be there for them and have time for them also means success to me, raising them well. So I think something I say all the time is, I want everything that I want, and I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to have it at some point.
Wow, powerful.
Yeah.
You bring a lot of value. You are business mentor. You do consulting. Does seeing your students grow and build success give you value? Give you success?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, one, because I think for me personally, I was struggling for so long, right? For so long, and no one should have to struggle like that. I hope nobody struggles the way that I had to. And so being able to help people avoid, their mistakes, help them avoid going that same route, saving them some heartache, feels very good, obviously very valuable. But also with working with other founders, with business owners, the thing is that I am also impacting all the people they employ, not just now, but forevermore, right? So one coffee shop in its lifetime might employ 100 people over the lifetime. And so if I get to work with these founders, help them become better leaders, help them become stronger businesses that pay better, offer better jobs, right? I really genuinely think I could change the world through that work.
Agreed.
And so it's incredibly fulfilling. And working in coffee too, I say this all the time, being the person who tells someone coffee is the seed of a cherry. It never gets old when you're the first person to tell someone that. And then also on the consumer side, saying you're the last person who touches it before it actually gets consumed. That work just forevermore, is so impactful. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. So if you could give us 8 pointers, something we need to know about Erika. 8 things. What are they?
Oh my gosh, 8 things about me?
About you, so that will bring us value, that we know who you are, so for the next questions.
Yeah, okay. I love horoscope. I'm a Sagittarius sun, and I have a lot of Capricorns in my chart. So I have and I learned a little bit about horoscope. I'm not an expert, but it really helped me understand myself a little bit better. My Sagittarius has a lot of ideas, very smiley, very happy, very out there.
Oh, yes.
Woo! And then the Capricorn is like, follow the rules. Like, don't make mistakes, be excellent, you know? So the combination of that makes for wonder and internal conflict all the time, right? So that's probably the second thing about me, is that I am constantly worried about doing the right thing. I want to do the right thing all the time. I think part of that is probably from trauma, like as a child, you know, but I think too, just the dynamic of my personality, I really want to do the right thing. And so sometimes there's no such thing. And sometimes that is nuanced, and that is hard when you're a rule follower to, you know, even innovate or create or make yourself happy when you're constantly thinking about the right thing for who, you know. So that's number 2. Number 3, it should have been number 1. I love my children. Like, I'm obsessed with them. I cannot believe how much they've impacted my life, for sure. They have taught me so much about myself, about humanity, about human beings, and leading them, raising them, all the things, loving them, how to love, so many things. And they look just like me too, which is a bonus. I love to dance. I go out dancing all the time by myself till like 2 a.m. I'll go out dancing. I love that. I think that I was so about business for so long, I needed to find more freedom in myself, in my body, and it has made me a better person, a business person, friend, everything, to just be outside, even if it makes me tired, you know? Let's see, how many things is that?
That's 4. That's what you said earlier today.
Yeah.
Be happy makes everyone like enjoy their job and.
Yes. Yeah. Being happy is so much, you know, like I think I was raised with this idea that you need to have joy, you know, happiness is temporary. I find deep joy in so many things, but it's in the day-to-day happiness that makes. You can look back on years of my life just being like, oh, I wasn't happy every day like that. What is anything?
And now you are?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I am. I am happy every day. Everyone can see it, you know. I've been in this industry 18 years. People have watched me grow up over the course of my entire career. I have people who've been following me on Instagram for 10 years, and they have seen me through everything, and now it's like they're like, you're glowing all the time because of happiness, you know, and taking care of myself. So that's probably the next thing. I am very much about personal work, inner work, spiritual work, all of that. Like that is my ambition, is to constantly learn how to love myself better, how to be more of myself, and I do a lot of spiritual practices all the time. And therapy, I tell everybody to go to therapy, every business owner, and to find the right kind of therapy. There's so many different kinds. Talk therapy does not work for me. I talk enough. Like, like I needed different kinds of therapy, you know, so I'm always talking to founders about that, about interpersonal work, because that's where the success really is. What is that, 6? 7. I said it in the class, but I love video games. I play video games almost every day, at least for like 30 minutes to an hour. I'll play my Xbox, I'll play my little games, I'll play with my kids, you know, but I'll wait till they go to sleep and I'll play by myself.
I read a study that says that people that play video games are smarter.
I think so. Like, and I'm not talking about, you know, I know there's, you know, soccer, football, whatever, sports games, but I'm playing puzzle games. I'm playing, you know, civilization building games, or, you know, even the restaurant games, the fun, quick moving ones. I think it is good for your brain. And it gives me space to think without thinking, you know. It's like a release valve for my brain, you know. So I'm sure people get that from movies or whatever, but I play video games regularly.
Good for you.
What else?
8.
Oh man.
You're a business owner.
Yeah, I'm a consultant, right? So I'm a cafe business consultant. I focus primarily on coffee shops in the US right now. I've worked with dozens of companies closely, like they really let me know all of their business. and I just look at everything holistically from an outside perspective and see how I can help them and tell them the truth, you know? from start to finish, and I love it. I absolutely love every client I've had. I love them. I've enjoyed the work. It's really my dream job. Yeah,
Wow.
truly. So,
Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Love it. Why do so many coffee shops close and fail?
yeah. You know, it's a hard business, and it doesn't look hard from the outside. It looks like a lot
So
of
much
fun.
fun.
It looks like so much fun, and it is fun, but it just, man, I joke all the time. I wish I didn't choose a career where I was selling $5 items. Like, that's just like, that's just the math is hard, right? Of like, how many $5 things do I need to sell to make a living? It is the most all-encompassing business I think possible. I think it is so difficult, and it really demands that you are good in most things. You have to be good in most things.
Hospitality.
Hospitality, numbers in business, people. You have to be great in people, not just people who you see as customers, but people who are working alongside you every day, and vendors and all of these things, and perception. Mastering perception is so hard. And it's just like there every single day. It's like a baby
Right.
that will never tell you that he loves you back. You know, like it's a lot.
So what do we do? You have a new
Yeah.
human here. I want to open a cafe because it's so much fun. It's my
Yeah.
dream. What do you tell him? Do,
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
why?
Well, I do tell them, I mean, we have a joke that they do call me the dream killer, you know, because I have killed some dreams.
But it's honesty, and it's appreciated, and I'm sure they thank you later.
Yeah, and you know what I say is people told me not to do it either. People told me not to do it. I
Right.
did it anyway.
Right.
It was hard.
Right.
I had hardship, you know, and yet that was my path, right? So it's like, if this is truly your path and I tell you all the information and you still really want to do it, then let's go, let's do it. And I will help you as much as I can.
Nice.
But the reality is, the first thing I say that always gets people, I say, do you have $500,000? That's what you need. I promise you that if you do not have $500,000, you are going to struggle immensely, and you will be tired, and you will feel like a failure for 3 years. Like, it's gonna be hard.
Why
right?
$500,000? Where do you get that number from?
It's just what I've seen. It's the build out costs. It's the like, oops, I didn't remember this part. It's the labor piece. It's the peace of mind. It's the ability to not be in scarcity mode just constantly, right? And that scarcity mode is huge as a founder. Scarcity makes us so rigid and reactive, and it's too high of stakes. You know, and so with abundance, you know, even if it just means you have a little buffer of money in the bank that you're not, you know,
Thinking of cash, no cash out
thinking of cash at every moment. You know, part of my services, new coffee shops end up spending about $8,000 on me. If they really want my help,
Right.
it ends up being around $8,000. And they go, oh, if they wince at that, I'm like, I don't think you have enough money in the bank. Like, or it's just gonna be hard. It's just gonna be hard. Yeah, it's very difficult to open a new coffee shop and just nail it financially.
Right,
You know.
right. So what would you tell them? Hire me would be
Yeah.
one, but other than that one, 3 more. What would you tell
Yeah.
someone that's starting a restaurant, a bar? 3 things you've learned
Yeah.
from all the experience, from all the people you've given consultants
Yeah.
to.
The most important work is the work we avoid.
Okay.
Okay, so getting together our costing sheets,
Okay.
getting together our budget, all those things, that's what us as entrepreneurs avoid. We want to have fun, we want to create, we want to do this. We don't really want to be sitting at a spreadsheet.
Right.
You need it, you have to do it. The other piece of that is all of the human interaction things, the employee handbook, the orientation, the mission values, the policies, the standard operating procedures. Those are absolutely necessary, and you're going to skip it and you might be fine for a while,
Right.
but it's going to come back to those things over and over again, and some, you know.
Okay.
And so, you know, those are 2 things. Third thing is, you know, you have to be an excellent leader. You have to work on leadership, not just the skill of the job, not just the money, but on leadership. And that is a really big job like to do.
It's a full-time
But
job being a leader.
You need it. Yeah, you need to learn better techniques for communication. You need to learn better interaction. You need to learn your own body language and be very honest about what your body language is, all those different things. Yeah.
What would you say when it comes to hiring and being a great leader? What makes a great leader a great leader?
Yeah, I think it's two things. I think it's leading people in a way that makes them happy.
Okay.
And those people are happy to follow you. Like if you are a great leader, people around you are going to be happy, and they're also going to just keep happily following you, right? To be a leader, you have to lead, and people have to be willing to be led.
Right.
And if they're not, I think that you're missing it,
So leaders say, oh my gosh, this new generation, it's difficult, Gen Z, blah, 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 blah. What do you say? Is it them or is it us?
They're just different. And I was different than my parents' generation and my grandparents, right? We're all different. And it's hard because, I don't know, as you get older, you just know what you know a certain way. And then this next thing comes up and they think a different way. And we were taught that we should conform to our elders. You need to think like us. And we did. This new generation has iPhones and the internet, and they're everything to them. They're not going to conform to our way of thinking. Right. That's out of the question. And should they conform to our way of thinking? Now, they are still teachable. They are still, again, everything's a negotiation, right? But it's like you have to communicate with them in a way they can hear you. And it's always been like that, right? We remember teachers growing up who did not ever try to maneuver and communicate to us in a way we could understand. They were the worst teachers. They were the worst ones, right? And now we've become them, where we're like kids these days. 100%. And really it's like, can you just teach them in a way they can understand?
100%.
Yeah.
So you said in class today, the way you talk to them, and you give us a really, really good example of like you working with them and you telling them, like the example with the gallons of milk, instead of saying don't waste milk, it's like let's do it this way. Can you give us a little bit of that, please?
Yeah, I just think that if we have a lesson to be taught, it's taught way more efficiently and better if we have fun with it. Right? Like, and that's us too, right? Like, why don't we just work out? We don't want to just work out. We want to take a workout class. We want to play sports. We want to have competition, right?
Yeah, we want a mentor. We want someone to tell us how.
We want coaching.
Right.
We want all those things. And so I just think in the workplace as well, especially a coffee shop full of young people, it is supposed to be fun. And so if we need to teach a new skill, if we need better standards, if we need to fix something, we can be a stern boss that tries to tell everyone and communicate that, or we can try to infuse some fun and game and everything into these people's lives. Most workers are neurodivergent in our day and age. Most of these kids are neurodivergent. They need things to keep their attention. And so we should try to develop those things. Yeah.
Love it. What percentage of our sales should go to COGS?
30% or
30% or less.
Yeah.
Labor.
30% or less. Yeah, it's
rents.
10% for not just rent. I like to throw everything in there. Occupancy, anything that your space is occupying, 10% or less, depending on where you're at. Sometimes it can creep up there, but yeah.
Okay, great. And then let's see. I have so many questions for you because I was in your classroom. This is exciting. What is a differentiator when it comes to coffee shop? How do I define my differentiator? I know everyone's focusing on don't just sell coffee, tell a story, storytelling, differentiator. We have a human here, they don't know how to find this differentiator.
Yeah.
How do you find it? How do you dig in?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that there are a certain amount of people who are able to just open coffee shops in the right locations, and they don't need to do all that. They find the right location, they're consistent, they have a good eye for design or whatever, and they open and they're fine.
Right.
They don't need to tell a story, they don't need a brand, mission, whatever. Yes, so there are people that can open coffee shops like that. The other group of people, right, that have to really market their thing, market their idea, market their cafe, you have to appeal to the public.
Right.
You have to appeal, and whether that's because your brand is just so cool and so trendy, it just captures eyeballs, that's one way, and that's hard to nail. The other way is by pulling at people's heartstrings, by making them feel connected to something. And that's probably what I focus on or work with a lot of founders like that, because that's needed most of the time. And so it is using who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it, and really putting into words in a way that will connect. And that makes you different from anyone else. There's no one that can replace you in the world, no one. And once I started leaning into that in my business, that's when my cafe business, that's when I really started getting the attention and the numbers that I wanted.
And you had it for 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years.
What happened?
It was actually going well. I quit at the high time of my career. Honestly, I had just won a lot of accolades. I had a lot of attention, and I was just tired. I was tired, and honestly, I was in Portland, Oregon. I didn't like being there, and I was there for 12 years. And I just didn't want to raise my kids there, and I was just on the brink of a massive expansion in my company, and I called it right before that. I just said, it's just not feeling right. It's because I don't want to be stuck here. It's time for me to move. I owned cafes from 21 to 31 years old. Like 10 of my years, my entire 20s was gone to this company, and it was awesome. Wow. I was able to sell one location to my manager. The second location had a terrible landlord, and I didn't want to pass it on. So I made a deal with him, traded all the things to get out of that lease, and I was done.
Good for you.
And it was awesome. It was great. I felt celebrated. I had time to say goodbye to everybody. It was such a beautiful time closing that shop. And also I was burnt out and ready to be done. So it was.
Would you do it again? Now with all the experience you have?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it again. No. Yeah, I feel like my time was done, and I just want to help other people do it.
Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, one day I could see maybe owning like a hospitality group or something and just helping all these companies come together somehow like that, but I don't want to be the person that creates the concept.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't have any more
thoughts on, for now, you never know, right? Exactly.
You never say never, yeah.
How do you feel about Starbucks? I know you worked there.
Yeah, I worked there. They gave me a great foundation. I still go there sometimes, because sometimes you're in the suburbs and there's nowhere else to go. They have always been what they are to me. I never thought that they were trying to be anything than a very, very convenient place to go, and I don't, I think that where they went really wrong was they weren't making their employees feel loved or, and I think that's a huge miss. I think there are some big corporations that still make their employees feel at least you know what, this is worth the trade-off, right? But that started going away. I also think that in the, what do you call it? What's the phrase? In the name of innovation and stuff, they're trying different things, and I don't know, they were doing well. It seemed like they were doing well, and when you innovate maybe too much, maybe it takes away from the brand or something. I know that some of my favorite drinks or things that I got there started tasting different, and I was just like, what? It was so good for so long, and I know that happens with corporations when you start making your own product, co-packing, all those things. Those are growing pains, but I don't know. I think they will always just be the fast food of coffee, and that's okay. We need fast food sometimes.
That's true.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
I'm going to grow this consulting business. Yeah, I'm just such in high demand. I'm only 2 years in, and I'm learning how to run a consulting agency. I've never done it before. I don't actually know the percentages and all those things for my consulting business. I know cafes. So I actually hired my own consultant last week. Last week I hired my own consultant because I have big dreams. I really want to grow it. I really want to change coffee shops in America for the better. We need to provide better jobs. We need to keep these small businesses healthy to fight off the giant investment money and investment dollars that are coming in. And we need to give them a fighting chance, right? Because we know that small business owners handle the product better, care more about their relationships from all the way to seed to cup. And so I just know that if I can really help these small, very specific coffee shop owners, I know that it can make a difference in the world, right? that's exciting. So I have big plans for that.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for this interview, for this time, for your time. I really enjoy your energy. It was so, I went to 4 or 5 classes through the World of Coffee, and yours was so enlightening. I came, it's Sunday morning, I come in and I'm like, come in late. And I find this amazing smile and instructor and energy giving us so much value. Thank you for giving value, thank you for caring, and thank you for supporting small coffees. I started as a coffee shop, as a farm first. We bought a farm, we saw it grow. Now we're up to 34 coffee shops. And I see the difference between being a small one scaling. So it is definitely a struggle, and what you said today in class and what you're telling us now brings value, and it takes me back to let's regroup ourselves, let's go back to basics, and let's go back to really enjoying our job and being happy with what we do. So thank you.
That makes me so happy. I'm gonna be thinking about you so much.
For one, I want your Excel. I would need to buy that one because it's we need it. We need it. Everyone needs it. So I'll probably put a link down so they can buy. And then 2, I would love to talk to you more as well. I think we have so much to do. And
I mean, I love to help as much as I can, and I think that, I just think back to my 21, 22, 23-year-old self who was drowning in debt, who was exhausted, who felt like a failure, and who just saw all these mostly white business people around me just acting like it was nothing or acting like it was easy. And I just, when I teach a class, that's who I'm teaching it to, that girl. And it makes me so happy to be able to do it. It feels like a privilege.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it really is. There's so much power in my life. Very blessed. Yeah, very privileged in that. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So last thoughts, what would you tell a inspiring coffee owner?
I think that one, if no one has told you, you should be very proud of yourself. Like, you should feel proud and just really love yourself. Even on the hard days when you think you're annoying. I think I'm annoying every day. And yet I just really sit and am grateful to my body, to myself, to everything that I am, and know that when I show up fully in that with power, I am a blessing to others, and I am a blessing to the world, and I'm happier, So it's so hard as a founder to not want to change and mold to please everybody, and you're better as yourself. Yeah.
Very powerful. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Here. Okay. I'm so glad you guys are in my class.
Si eso te dio valor, suscríbete.